Do I look like a seventh grader? Oh my goodness. I am gonna get so caught. I'm actually really scared now. I am literally on the campgrounds of a middle school. Well, I finally got caught. I told him that I would go to the principal's office, so I guess we're gonna see what happens. Did you guys see the video?
No, I haven't seen the video, ma'am.
I posed as a seventh grader. It went viral.
In this shocking footage, a mother spends an entire day posing as her 13-year-old daughter at a middle school in El Paso County, Texas. Her controversial video would ultimately become a social media success, amassing over millions of views. In an exclusive interview with Iwu, we will get to hear from the mother herself, who will give her side of the story that baffled the nation.
Oh my God, I cannot get it out. I'm so sorry. Please bear with me. Because every single day, you don't know. You just don't know.
On Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, 30-year-old Casey Garcia makes her way to Ann Garcia Enriquez Middle School, only she's disguised as her 7th grade daughter, Julie Garcia.
Okay, I'll record once I'm inside. Do I look like a seventh grader? Okay, and hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, and yourself?
Great.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. I am gonna get so caught. I'm actually really scared now. I am literally on the campgrounds of a middle school.
Using hair dye and self-tanner, Casey has made herself look as identical as possible to her 13-year-old daughter. Now inside of the school, she asks a faculty member for directions to one of the classrooms, still undercover as a student.
What's going to be the, I believe the third classroom to your left.
Okay, thank you so much. With all the music, that's what they told me. Thank you so much. The coach literally came up to me and was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Julie." And he was like, "Oh my God, Julie. Holy I'm in PE." But a 30-year-old disguising as a 13-year-old and made it through lunch? I've made it more than half a day.
The mother boldly reveals her face as she sits in the school's cafeteria. Still, she's yet to be discovered. However, just when Casey thought she would make it until the end of the day, her cover is eventually blown.
Well, I finally got caught. I told him that I would go to the principal's office, so I guess we're gonna see what happens. Just want to say thank you to all the girls that helped me get to all of my classes yesterday. I really, really appreciate it. I honestly would have been discovered way sooner if it weren't for you. And if you knew my secret and you kept it for me, thank you so much for not saying anything. I honestly could have not made it the entire day as a middle school student without you.
Soon we will find out exactly how Casey's true identity was uncovered, along with the many shocking details of an already insane day. As for now, the mother personally shed some light into her thought process, leading up to the unbelievable chain of events.
So the leading up to it, I feel, was at the time, my 4-year-old was about to start kindergarten. And I couldn't comprehend the anxiety that I was feeling for the fact that here I am, mandated by law, that I have to send my child to school. Yes, I can homeschool, but this goes in a general perspective. Not only do I want to, not this to happen. I don't want this to happen just to any school, any town. Generally speaking, why does any mother have to feel any type of anxiety for sending their kid off to school with the massive amounts of incidents that have happened and are happening? How am I supposed to tell my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old if somebody comes in with a gun in your classroom? You have to hide. My teenager can. I mean, my daughter is 16. She's in high school. I know for a fact she can do it. She can hide. She can get to safety. She's going to know. She's now 6. My 6-year-old and my 3-year-old all they're going to be thinking is, what is going on? And they're going to be terrified for their life. Not that my 16-year-old wouldn't be terrified for her life, but she is going to more or less figure it out, and she's going to try her best. Why do my kids have to compromise their safety because America can't get their together? Why? Why are we sending so much money to God knows where? I don't know where, but yet my kids may or may not have a locked door because someone didn't want to lock it, because this guy just felt like, you know what, I'm going to shoot up a school today because he felt like it.
Although Casey voices concern for her children's safety, others believe that her motive behind the so-called social experiment is something much different. One such person is middle school principal Richard Salcido, who detectives spoke with only 3 days following the bizarre ordeal.
So our system to enter the building is to enter through the old gym, do their temperature check, sign in. She signed in as her daughter and her daughter's ID.
Have you ever had anybody try to pose as a student that's not a student, other than this incident?
No.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what happened when she came in?
Yeah, so she came in and I asked her what was going on, why'd you do this? And she said it was just to see how secure the schools are, to see how secure her daughter is. And she said, if there's a fine, I'm willing to pay the fine. I'm like, well, I need to talk to my bosses to see if they're going to press charges. But I think it's going to be more than just a fine. I did tell her, I was like, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention, because, if it is a safety issue, I do need to address it with our staff. So that's something that.
In regards to the safety issue that she's claiming, she sent you guys an email, text message, phone call, meeting with you or any other administrator to address lack of security or any kind of allegation that she was making?
I honestly don't think it was a test to do security. It's just, looking at her TikTok videos, it's like she's trying to get, because she's got other videos that I'm like, okay, I think it's almost attention seeking. If she was vigilant about the security, I think, have a conversation with me, have a conversation with the superintendent.
But that never happened prior, correct?
That never happened.
As it turns out, Casey has her own reasoning as to why she didn't talk to an administrator about her concerns.
It wasn't at this specific school. At another school, they were practicing a lockdown drill. My daughter and I just happened to be late that day, so I didn't know it was a random lockdown drill, because they have them randomized. And this particular day, they were doing a lockdown drill. And I believe my daughter and I were, I want to say, 30 minutes to an hour late. We walked in through the normal door that you walk in through to go into school. And then the principal comes around the corner, and this principal says, "How did you get in the building?" And I said, "We walked through that door." And this principal's face was so irritated with the person who was supposed to lock the door that didn't lock the door during a lockdown. I sat there and I was completely mind-boggled at the fact that it's a practice lockdown drill and we can't even get that door locked. So no, my voice has never been heard. What's the point? They're just going to tell me, well, we practice lockdown drills.
Just 2 days following the incident, Casey posts another video to her YouTube channel. This time, she gives a deeper explanation to her motive, stating exactly why she posed as her 13-year-old child.
The news station in El Paso, KT, whatever, I don't watch the news. She commented, they're making it look really bad. Like I just wanted to go to middle school for and giggles. And I'm going to be 100% myself because now my integrity is being put on the line, which is fine. I don't care what you think, but I'm going to tell you my side of the story. I didn't do this to get views. I didn't do this to get likes. I didn't do this so people could be mad at me and I could never walk around El Paso again. Which honestly, you guys are. I wanted to go as Julie. I wasn't going as my daughter. I wasn't trying to go to impersonating another child. I wasn't trying to be someone else. I was trying to be my kid and my kid only. The school was so concerned that my phone was out that they weren't even paying attention to who I was. They never interacted with me. It was always, hey, put your phone away. Hey, put your phone away. I wasn't even a person. I was just, hey, put your phone away. Every single teacher of my daughters is very, very, very nice. They're all, and I feel bad that it had to be this school, but this is a problem in all schools. We need better security at our schools. I don't mean to be curt, but I kind of feel like I proved it.
Although Casey's disguise lasted her almost 7 periods, one teacher could see right through the mask.
I mean, I'm no spring chicken, but it wasn't hard. And I made it to all 7 periods until the last teacher, she was female, and she said, Julie, can you stay after class? And I said, absolutely. And she looked at me and she's like, you're not Julie. I was like, no, I'm not. I took off my mask, I took off my glasses, and I said, no, I'm not Julie. I'm Julie's mom. And she said, Why? I think she was really mind boggled. Like she had no idea what the hell just happened. And I said, for a social experiment. I wanted to see if I could make it the entire day without anybody noticing. And I'd say up until 7th period, I think that's a very long day for a 30-year-old.
Casey initially held to her disguise, stating that she was in fact Julie, but the teacher didn't believe her. Finally, Casey gave in.
There have been one too many mass shootings. I think I read or Googled that there have been 40 or 44. I didn't do this to be mean or malicious or to rattle anybody's cages. I did this to prove a point.
Casey's video will go on to elicit strong feelings from viewers on every part of the spectrum, and she makes it clear that her intention is to speak candidly.
Would you have rather me proving a point sitting there quietly with my mask? Or do we really want to wait for the next person taking their Second Amendment right to the extreme? Thank you so much for supporting me. I will, I guess, see you in the next viral video.
Though Casey provided her defense, Principal Salcido views it more as a violation rather than a call for action.
There's a concern because she was in the girls' restroom, so there could be a violation. I mean, we do have young ladies here on campus, and we don't let adults go in the same restroom as the students.
And in reverse, just to that she went into the restroom. How do you feel about that, sir?
You know,
As an administrator, and I don't know if you're a parent or not, but how do you feel about that?
As a parent, I'd be upset. Now parents are losing trust in us, so it's just more of a, not just a safety issue. Now we have, a trust issue with our parents, or is my kid safe to go on campus? So we've had a lot of phone calls on that.
Supposedly, a few of Julie's friends aided Casey in locating some of her classes. However, before they could, the mother had almost blown her cover.
And then she went towards where my lunch lady is and she asked her, would you like breakfast? And she said yes, so she got her breakfast and then she took off. But she didn't know, she was confused. She didn't know where to go. So one of the teachers guided her. She doesn't know who it was, but they guided her to her classroom or where she went. It's hard to distinguish a student because they all look very advanced. Their body, their beards on the guys, and it's very hard to distinguish a student. And that lady looks younger than the daughter, actually.
This faculty member states that many of the kids wear hoodies to school, such as Casey had on, making it difficult to identify the students. Yet, according to police documents, other teachers did notice that Casey's mannerisms were a bit different than that of her daughters, such as her rate of speech. Another teacher noted that the student looked off. By the end of the day, their suspicions would be confirmed. And Casey's plan wouldn't go unpunished. On June 4th, only 3 days after the shocking ordeal, officers make their way to Casey's home. However, it's almost as if the mother is waiting for authorities. With her phone in hand, she too is recording her interaction with police, which can also be found on her YouTube channel.
We're here because we're going to place you under arrest, ma'am.
Okay.
You do have a traffic warrant with us, ma'am?
Traffic warrant?
Yes, ma'am. So you're going to be placed under arrest for traffic warrant, okay, ma'am? So,
That's it?
excuse me?
That's the only thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, ma'am.
My suegra's coming.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not resisting.
No, it's fine.
I am here. And now the superintendent's pissed because I said that I said I wasn't going to go back on school grounds, so he figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
He got his ego destroyed.
According to Casey, she and the superintendent of the San Elizario Independent School District had a brief altercation following June 1st. As we will soon hear from the mother herself, she has yet to release any detail of the alleged incident. That is, until now.
You're going to cuff me?
Excuse me? Unfortunately, yeah.
Like this?
I could put you on front.
Oh, man, that was like my flex. I've never been to jail.
13-year-old Julie quickly makes an appearance at the home, where Casey immediately hands her daughter the phone that is assumably still recording.
Searching for the victim. She's with the subject. I don't know how to get back on TikTok. I logged myself out. Try to get back in. I don't know how to get back in.
If you want to, I don't know.
Can I post my own bail? Is that
Can I push
is that a thing?
Yes, yes, you can.
I can?
You can take your wallet with you, ma'am.
I'm not gonna take the wallet.
Yeah, I would. I was.
Steal it.
Yeah, I would just take your credit card or whatever you have on you.
Your ID.
And you have your ID already.
All right, I'm wearing it now. I talk a lot.
Within minutes, Casey was arrested and placed inside of the police vehicle. She was taken to the El Paso County Jail on charges of criminal trespassing and tampering with a government record. After paying her own bond, she was released later that day. However, despite her arrest, she would continue to voice her concerns even more than 2 years later, as she recalls that day.
That day that it happened, I went to the principal's office, unescorted to the principal's office, again, able to walk through the halls freely. The principal had said to me, and which I have in an unseen video, he says that he had asked the superintendent for IDs, picture IDs, and the superintendent's response to that was, no, we're not going to do that. And they didn't. So the only thing that has changed as far as my incident was the IDs.
According to Casey, her daughter's middle school didn't administer photo identification for the students at the time. Though it's unclear if they've recently been implemented, Casey mentions that one of the district's high schools may have issued photo IDs to their students. Casey asserts that this is the only change of security that she's seen within the district. But Casey has one more bombshell to drop. She recalls her conversation with Principal Salcido. However, she goes on to reveal alleged details that have never been released to the public before.
So then I asked him, I keep telling him, we need this, we need no backpacks. I mentioned the no backpacks. He said, I agree. He said, he then said to me, I am very sorry that this was able to happen. He apologized to me repeatedly. And then I asked him, are you going to arrest me? And he said, no, I'm not going to arrest you, which I also have on video, unseen video. I said, okay, thank you so much. He said, all right, we're going to do better. And then I left. 2 days later, I get a phone call from the school, from a secretary. And she says, Mrs. Garcia. And I said, yes. She says, I'm calling to confirm your appointment tomorrow. And I said, I'm sorry, appointment? She says, yes, your appointment tomorrow with, and then she says the superintendent's name. I never heard his name before. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't even know who that is. Who is that? She goes, the superintendent. And I said, I didn't set up an appointment. I said, I'm really sorry. You might have the wrong Garcia. It's a fairly common name here. She says, you know what? You're right. I probably do. She hung up, called me back. She goes, Mrs. Garcia. And she says, I said, yes. She says, you set up this appointment. And I said, no, ma'am, I didn't.
Casey adamantly denied ever having set an appointment, but the secretary reportedly pressed on, trying to convince the mother that it was of her own doing, and Casey grew all the more suspicious.
And I said, I didn't set up any appointment. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, let me place you on hold. Let me ask the superintendent. She asks the superintendent. She comes back. She says, yes, you set this appointment up. She then hangs up, calls me back. Then she changes the story. And poor thing, I really do think that she was also in the dark about this.
Mm-hmm.
Then she says, actually, the superintendent would like to speak with you. And now my alarm bells are just going off. And I'm thinking, why? It's been 2 days and you didn't call me or no. So then I said, well, can you ask him about what? So then she says, yes, let me place you on a hold. I said, okay. And then she comes back and he says, you know what he wants to talk about. Then I'm thinking, oh, I don't think so. I said, well, since you keep, placing me on hold, he's clearly available. Why doesn't he just speak with me now since he's so eager to speak with me? And she says, okay, let me ask him. She comes back and she says, no, he wants you on campus tomorrow. And I said, tell him I'm not going back on campus. And I said, please stop calling me. And I hung up. The next day, 9:30, I was arrested. But one of the officers, I believe he was and is a detective, he told the judge and on a written affidavit that I was escorted off the property. And I wasn't. And I was never asked to leave. And that's my side of the story.
Though her social experiment garnered national controversy, it seems that the mother has no regrets. To this day, Casey maintains that her motive behind going undercover was out of concern for her children's safety. In November of 2023, Casey Garcia stood trial and was found guilty of criminal trespass. She was sentenced to 6 months of probation and given a prorated fine of $700. In addition, she's required to complete 100 hours of community service. Casey's YouTube channel and TikTok account are currently still active.